Nuclear-capable Iskander missiles deployed by Moscow in October last year to Kaliningrad, which borders NATO members Poland and Lithuania. Russia has also carried out a series of military exercises along its western frontiers. NATO has put 300,000 troops on high alert and has also made so-called tripwire deployments in frontline states. There is a growing danger of accidental escalation, warns NATO's former information officer in Moscow, John Luff, now at Chatham House.
It seems to me that it's actually very important to have mechanisms in place that allow the military establishments to communicate when needed, because both sides should see that there is in fact the capacity here for some sort of accident.
NATO is deploying an extra 4,000 multinational troops to the Baltic states and Poland in the coming months. The core NATO principle of collective defence is being revitalised, says Luff.
NATO is starting, if you like, from a low base in terms of rebuilding this defensive capability. It's not the sort of thing that happens overnight. But I would argue that the evidence of political will here, in fact, is probably more important.
But Donald Trump's victory in the US election has triggered uncertainty over the future US commitment to NATO's primary force. The US spent $66 billion on defence in 2016. Second-placed Britain spent less than a tenth of that figure. President-elect Trump has questioned the United States' financial burden, and analysts say Moscow is watching with interest.
Collective defence has actually, I think, psychologically at least, been a huge deterrent for Russia. Trump may change that calculation if he certainly pledges not to necessarily come to NATO allies' help in a situation of need if they haven't paid their 2% defence spending.
President-elect Trump's praise for Russian leader Vladimir Putin has rattled Ukraine, which is battling pro-Kremlin rebels in the east.
That will allow or embolden Russia to maybe test the boundaries of NATO and test the unity of NATO even further, I think.
It is premature to assume that Donald Trump's early overtures to Moscow will translate into a lasting détente, argues Luff.
There are going to be areas where they disagree, and perception of Iran, for example, is one of them, and I think that will come to the fore quickly.
Rearmament on both sides has raised the stakes. The new US administration will likely herald more uncertainty in an increasingly tense environment. Henry Ridgwell for VOA News, London.